Here's a truth that will disturb most people. You are not the victim of your circumstances. You are the victim of your own mouth. Every excuse you make, every limitation you accept, every dream you abandon starts with the words you speak to yourself in the privacy of your own mind while you're blaming the economy, your boss, your education, or your background for your problems. Successful people are having completely different conversations with themselves. They're not smarter than you, they're not luckier than you, and they don't have better opportunities than you. They just refuse to participate in the mental self-abuse that you call normal thinking. Let me tell you something that will change your life forever. There's one person you talk to more than anyone else in this world. It's not your spouse, it's not your best friend, it's not your mother or your father. It's you. You talk to yourself all day long. From the moment you wake up until the moment you go to sleep, you're having a conversation with yourself. And here's what most people don't realize. That conversation is either building you up or tearing you down. There's no middle ground. I want you to think about this for a moment. What did you say to yourself when you woke up this morning? When you looked in the mirror, what was the first thing that came to mind? When you thought about your day ahead, your goals, your dreams, what kind of conversation did you have with yourself? Most people, if they're honest, will admit that they're not very kind to themselves. They're not very encouraging. They're not very supportive. See, here's what I've learned after decades of studying human behavior and success. The difference between successful people and unsuccessful people isn't talent, it's not luck, it's not even hard work, though that matters. The real difference is the conversation they have with themselves every single day. Winners talk to themselves like winners. Losers talk to themselves like losers. And the tragedy is that most people don't even realize they're doing it. I remember when I first discovered this truth about myself. I was struggling in my early 20s. Nothing seemed to work. I couldn't get ahead. I was broke, frustrated, and feeling like life was passing me by. Then one day, I caught myself having a conversation with myself. I was walking down the street and I heard my own voice in my head saying, "You're never going to amount to anything. You're just not smart enough. You don't have what it takes." That stopped me cold. I thought, wait a minute. If my best friend talked to me the way I talk to myself, I wouldn't be friends with him anymore. That's when I realized I had become my own worst enemy. I was defeating myself before I even got started. And if I was doing this to myself, how many other people were doing the same thing? The answer is millions. Most people are walking around with a voice in their head that sounds like their worst critic, not their biggest supporter. They're programming themselves for failure without even knowing it. They're creating their own limitations through the words they speak to themselves. And then they wonder why life is so hard. But here's the good news. If you created this pattern, you can change it. If you programmed yourself for failure, you can reprogram yourself for success. And it doesn't take years, it doesn't take months, it takes 10 days. Just 10 days of talking to yourself differently. And you'll feel the shift, you'll feel the change. You'll start to see possibilities where you once saw problems. You'll start to feel confident where you once felt doubt. Now, why 10 days? Because that's how long it takes to create a new neural pathway in your brain. That's how long it takes to start forming a new habit. The first few days will feel strange. Your old programming will resist. But by day 4 or 5, something magical starts to happen. The new way of thinking starts to feel natural. By day 10, you've created a foundation for permanent change. Think about it this way. If you planted a seed in the ground and watered it every day for 10 days, what would happen? You'd start to see growth. You'd start to see life. The same thing happens when you plant positive seeds in your mind through the words you speak to yourself. Water those seeds with consistent positive self-talk for 10 days and you'll start to see growth in every area of your life. The human mind is the most powerful computer ever created. But like any computer, it operates on the programming you give it. If you program it with negative thoughts, negative words, and negative expectations, that's exactly what it will produce in your life. But if you program it with positive thoughts, positive words, and positive expectations, it will work day and night to make those things a reality. Most people don't understand this. They think thoughts just happen to them. They think their inner voice is just something they have to live with. But that's not true. You have complete control over what you say to yourself. You have complete control over the programming you give your mind. And when you take control of that programming, you take control of your life. This isn't about positive thinking for the sake of positive thinking. This isn't about pretending everything is wonderful when it's not. This is about strategic self-talk. This is about programming your mind for success, achievement, and happiness. This is about becoming your own best friend, your own biggest supporter, your own most encouraging voice. When you change the conversation you have with yourself, everything else changes. Your confidence changes, your energy changes, your relationships change, your results change. People start to notice something different about you. They can't quite put their finger on it, but they know you're different. You carry yourself differently. You speak differently. And here's what really happens. When you start talking to yourself like a winner, you start acting like a winner. When you start acting like a winner, you start getting the results that winners get. It's that simple, it's that powerful, and it all starts with a decision to change the conversation you have with yourself. The tragedy is that most people will never make this decision. They'll continue to beat themselves up with their words. They'll continue to program themselves for mediocrity. They'll continue to be their own worst enemy. But not you. Not anymore, because now you know the secret, now you know the power you have, now you know that you can change your life by changing your self-talk. So let me ask you this. Are you ready to become your own best friend? Are you ready to start supporting yourself instead of sabotaging yourself? Are you ready to reprogram your mind for success? Are you ready to feel the shift that happens when you change the conversation you have with yourself? The next 10 days of your life can be the most transformative 10 days you've ever experienced, but only if you're willing to do something different. Only if you're willing to talk to yourself differently. Only if you're willing to become aware of the conversation that's been running in your head and take control of it. Now let me tell you about the specific differences between how winners and losers talk to themselves. This isn't just theory. This is based on years of observing successful people and unsuccessful people. The patterns are clear. The differences are dramatic. And once you understand these differences, you'll never be the same. Losers wake up and say things like, I don't want to get up. I hate Mondays. This is going to be a terrible day. I can't do this anymore. Nothing ever works out for me. They're programming themselves for failure before they even get out of bed. They're setting themselves up for a bad day, a bad week, a bad life. Winners wake up and say things like, this is going to be a great day. I'm excited about the possibilities. I can handle whatever comes my way. I'm getting better every day. Good things are coming my way. They're programming themselves for success. They're setting themselves up for achievement, for happiness, for growth. Listen to how losers talk to themselves when they face a challenge. They say, this is too hard. I can't do this. I'm not smart enough. I don't have what it takes. This always happens to me. I knew this wouldn't work. They're defeating themselves before they even try. They're giving up before they even begin. Winners face the same challenges, but they talk to themselves differently. They say, this is an opportunity to grow. I can figure this out. I've overcome challenges before, and I can do it again. This is making me stronger. I'm learning something valuable here. This is temporary, and I will get through it. When losers make a mistake, they say, I'm so stupid. I always mess things up. I can't do anything right. I'm a failure. I should just give up. They're programming themselves to expect more mistakes, more failures, more disappointments. When winners make a mistake, they say, that's a learning experience. Now I know what doesn't work. I'm getting closer to the solution. Mistakes are part of the process. I'm becoming wiser and more experienced. This is making me better. You see the difference? It's not that winners don't face challenges or make mistakes. It's that they talk to themselves about these experiences in a completely different way. They use language that builds them up instead of tearing them down. They use words that create possibility instead of limitation. Here's something fascinating. The human brain can't tell the difference between something that's really happening and something that's vividly imagined. That's why what you say to yourself is so powerful. Your brain believes every word you tell it. If you keep telling yourself you're not good enough, your brain will find evidence to support that belief. If you keep telling yourself you can't do something, your brain will make sure you prove yourself right. But the opposite is also true. If you tell yourself you're capable and competent, your brain will find evidence to support that belief. If you tell yourself you can achieve your goals, your brain will start working to make that happen. Your brain is like a faithful servant. It will do whatever you program it to do. This is why successful people are so careful about their self-talk. They understand that their words have power. They understand that what they say to themselves becomes their reality. They treat their mind like the precious resource it is, and they only put positive, empowering, success-oriented thoughts into it. I want you to think about the most successful person you know. How do you think they talk to themselves? Do you think they wake up every morning complaining about their life? Do you think they constantly criticize themselves? Do you think they focus on everything that's wrong? Of course not. They've learned to be their own best friend, their own biggest supporter, their own most encouraging voice. Now think about the most unsuccessful person you know. How do you think they talk to themselves? I bet they complain constantly. I bet they criticize themselves regularly. I bet they focus on everything that's wrong instead of everything that's right. They've become their own worst enemy without even realizing it. The difference between these two people isn't circumstances, it's not background, it's not even opportunities. The difference is the conversation they have with themselves every single day. One is programming themselves for success, and the other is programming themselves for failure. Let me give you some specific examples of loser language versus winner language. When faced with a new opportunity, losers say, I probably won't get it, I'm not qualified enough, they'll probably choose someone else, I shouldn't even try. Winners say, this could be perfect for me, I have valuable skills to offer, I'm going to give it my best shot, even if I don't get it, I'll learn something valuable. When working toward a goal, losers say, this is taking too long. I should be further along by now. Maybe I should just quit. This isn't working. Winners say, every step forward is progress. I'm building momentum. Good things take time. I'm committed to seeing this through. When dealing with criticism, losers say, they're right, I'm not good enough. I should just accept that I'm mediocre. I'll never be successful. Winners say, this feedback will help me improve. I can learn from this. Everyone who's ever achieved anything has faced criticism. This is part of the process. When facing fear, losers say, I'm too scared. I can't do this. What if I fail? What if people laugh at me? I should just play it safe. Winners say, fear means I'm about to grow. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's acting despite fear. The only way to overcome fear is to face it. I'm braver than I think I am. The compound effect of this different self-talk is enormous. Day after day, year after year, these different internal conversations create completely different lives. The person who talks to themselves like a winner becomes a winner. The person who talks to themselves like a loser becomes a loser. It's that simple and that powerful. But here's what's really amazing. You can change this pattern starting right now. You don't have to wait until tomorrow. You don't have to wait until next week. You can start talking to yourself like a winner today, and you'll start getting different results immediately. Your brain is waiting for new programming. It's ready to support you instead of sabotage you. It's ready to work for you instead of against you. All you have to do is change the conversation. All you have to do is start using winner language instead of loser language. Over the next 10 days, I want you to become aware of every conversation you have with yourself. Catch yourself when you use loser language and immediately replace it with winner language. It will feel strange at first. Your old programming will resist, but stick with it. The results will amaze you. Remember, you're not just changing your words, you're changing your programming. You're changing your expectations. You're changing your reality. And when you change your reality, you change your life. Now let me give you the specific method that will transform your life in just 10 days. This isn't theory. This is a practical, step-by-step system that will reprogram your mind for success. I've seen it work for thousands of people, and it will work for you if you follow it exactly as I'm about to explain. The key is to start each day with intentional, powerful self-talk. The moment you wake up, before you check your phone, before you get out of bed, before you do anything else, you're going to have a conversation with yourself. And this conversation is going to set the tone for your entire day. Here's what you're going to say to yourself every morning for the next 10 days. Say it with conviction. Say it with belief. Say it like you mean it. Today is going to be a great day. I'm excited about the possibilities. I'm capable of handling whatever comes my way. I'm getting better every day. Good things are coming into my life. I'm grateful for this opportunity to grow and contribute. Now, your old programming might resist this. Your inner critic might say, this is silly. This isn't going to work. You're just fooling yourself. When that happens, you need to be ready with the response. You're going to say, I choose to focus on positive possibilities. I choose to believe in myself. I choose to program my mind for success. After your morning affirmations, you're going to set 3 intentions for the day. Not goals, not tasks, but intentions. An intention is about who you're going to be, not what you're going to do. You might say, today I intend to be confident in all my interactions. Today I intend to see opportunities instead of obstacles. Today I intend to be kind to myself and others. Throughout the day, you're going to practice what I call thought catching. Every time you catch yourself thinking or saying something negative about yourself or your circumstances, you're going to stop and redirect. You're going to say, that's old programming. I choose to think differently. I choose to focus on what's possible. And then you're going to replace that negative thought with a positive one. If you catch yourself thinking, I can't do this, you're going to say, I'm learning how to do this. I'm getting better at this. I have the ability to figure this out. If you catch yourself thinking, this is too hard, you're going to say, this is an opportunity to grow. I'm becoming stronger. I can handle this challenge. Here's something important. You don't have to believe these new thoughts at first. You just have to say them. Your brain will start to believe them through repetition. That's how programming works. You repeat something enough times and it becomes part of your operating system. Let me give you specific phrases to use when you face common challenges. When you're feeling overwhelmed, say, I take things one step at a time. I'm capable of managing my responsibilities. I have everything I need to succeed. When you're feeling discouraged, say, this is temporary. I'm building something great. Every successful person has faced discouragement. I'm getting closer to my breakthrough. When you make a mistake, say, this is a learning experience. I'm becoming wiser and more experienced. Mistakes are part of the process of success. I'm grateful for this opportunity to improve. When you're feeling scared, say, fear is a sign that I'm about to grow. I'm braver than I think I am. I can do things that scare me. Courage is acting despite fear. When you're facing rejection, say, this wasn't meant for me, but something better is coming. I'm one step closer to the right opportunity. Rejection is redirection. I'm grateful for this clarity. When you're feeling impatient, say, good things take time. I'm building something lasting. Every day I'm getting closer to my goals. Patience is a strength. Now here's the advanced technique. Throughout the day, you're going to ask yourself empowering questions. Instead of asking, why does this always happen to me? You're going to ask, how can I use this experience to grow? Instead of asking, why can't I do anything right? You're going to ask, what can I learn from this that will help me improve? Questions are powerful because they direct your mind's focus. Ask a negative question and your mind will find negative answers. Ask a positive question and your mind will find positive answers. So you're going to become very careful about the questions you ask yourself. Here are some empowering questions to ask yourself throughout the day. What am I grateful for right now? How can I make today better than yesterday? What opportunity is hidden in this challenge? How is this experience making me stronger? What can I do right now to move forward? By midday, you're going to check in with yourself. How are you doing with your new self-talk? Are you catching negative thoughts and redirecting them? Are you using empowering language? Are you asking yourself good questions? This isn't about being perfect. It's about being aware and making progress. In the evening, you're going to end your day with positive self-talk. You're going to review the day and find things to celebrate. Even if it wasn't a perfect day, you're going to find something good to acknowledge. You might say, I'm proud of myself for trying something new today. I'm grateful for the people who helped me. I'm excited about tomorrow's possibility. Then you're going to prepare your mind for tomorrow. You're going to say, tomorrow is going to be even better. I'm going to wake up refreshed and ready. I'm going to continue growing and improving. Good things are coming my way. This programs your subconscious mind to work for you while you sleep. Now, let me tell you what's going to happen over these 10 days. The first 2 days will feel strange. Your old programming will resist. You might feel like you're lying to yourself. That's normal. Keep going. By day 3 and 4, the new thoughts will start to feel more natural. You'll start to notice small shifts in your mood and energy. By day 5 and 6, something magical will start to happen. You'll start to see evidence that your new programming is working. You'll handle challenges better. You'll feel more confident. You'll start to attract better opportunities. By day 7 and 8, people will start to notice something different about you. You'll carry yourself differently. By day 9 and 10, the new way of thinking will start to feel natural. You'll catch yourself using positive self-talk without even trying. You'll automatically ask yourself empowering questions. You'll naturally focus on possibilities instead of problems. You'll have created a new mental habit that will serve you for the rest of your life. But here's the key. You must be consistent. You must do this every single day for 10 days. You can't skip a day. You can't take a break. You can't make excuses. This is about creating a new neural pathway in your brain. And that requires consistent repetition. Think of it like learning to play a musical instrument. You can't practice piano for 1 day and expect to be a concert pianist. You have to practice every day until it becomes natural. The same is true with positive self-talk. You have to practice every day until it becomes your new default way of thinking. The beautiful thing is that once you create this new pattern, it becomes automatic. You won't have to think about it anymore. You'll naturally talk to yourself in an empowering way. You'll naturally focus on possibilities. You'll naturally ask yourself good questions. You'll reprogram your mind for success. Let me prepare you for what's going to happen when you start this 10-day transformation. Your mind is going to resist. Your old programming is going to fight back. This is normal. This is expected. And if you're prepared for it, you can push through it and create lasting change. The first thing you need to understand is that your brain is designed to keep you safe, not to make you successful. It's designed to keep you in familiar territory, even if that territory isn't serving you well. When you start to change your self-talk, your brain is going to send you warning signals. It's going to try to pull you back to the old way of thinking. You might hear voices in your head saying things like, "This is stupid. This isn't going to work. You're just fooling yourself. People will think you're crazy. You've tried to change before and it didn't work. Why would this time be different?" These voices are not the truth. They're just your old programming trying to maintain control. When you hear these voices, you need to recognize them for what they are. They're not facts. They're not prophecies. They're just thoughts based on old programming, and you have the power to choose different thoughts. You have the power to override this resistance. Here's what you're going to do when the resistance comes. You're going to acknowledge it without fighting it. You're going to say, "I notice I'm having thoughts of doubt. That's my old programming. I understand why my brain is doing this. It's trying to keep me safe, but I choose to move forward anyway." Then you're going to immediately redirect your thoughts to something positive. You're going to say, "I'm creating positive change in my life. I'm capable of developing new habits. I'm stronger than my old programming. I choose to believe in myself and my ability to grow." The second form of resistance you'll face is the voice of skepticism. This voice will say, this positive thinking stuff is just nonsense. Successful people don't talk to themselves like this. You need to be realistic. You need to face facts. Again, this is just your old programming trying to maintain control. When you hear this voice, remember that successful people absolutely do talk to themselves differently than unsuccessful people. They absolutely do use positive self-talk. They absolutely do focus on possibilities instead of limitations. The difference is that they've learned to do it naturally, without thinking about it. You're not being unrealistic, you're being strategic. You're programming your mind for success instead of failure. You're choosing to focus on what's possible instead of what's wrong. You're choosing to be your own best friend instead of your own worst enemy. The third form of resistance is impatience. Around day 3 or 4, you might start thinking, this isn't working fast enough. I should be seeing bigger changes by now. Maybe I should try something else. This is where most people give up. Don't be most people. Real change takes time. You're not just changing your thoughts, you're changing neural pathways that have been strengthened over years or even decades. Be patient with yourself. Trust the process. Every day you practice positive self-talk, you're creating new pathways in your brain. Think of it like working out. You don't go to the gym once and expect to be in perfect shape. You go consistently, day after day, and gradually you see results. The same is true with mental fitness. You have to exercise your positive thinking muscles every day until they become strong. Here's something that will help you push through the resistance. Write down your reasons for wanting to change. Write down how your current self-talk is holding you back. Write down what your life will look like when you consistently use positive self-talk. Read this list every morning and every evening. When the resistance comes, remind yourself why you started this process. Remind yourself of the life you're creating. Remind yourself that temporary discomfort leads to permanent improvement. Remind yourself that you're worth the effort. Another thing that will help is to find evidence that the new programming is working. Look for small signs that your self-talk is changing your experience. Maybe you handled a stressful situation better than usual. Maybe you felt more confident in a meeting. Maybe you slept better because you ended the day with positive thoughts. Celebrate these small wins. Acknowledge them. Be proud of them. They're proof that the process is working. They're proof that you're changing. They're proof that you have the power to reprogram your mind. Around day 4 or 5, something interesting will happen. The new way of thinking will start to feel less foreign. You'll start to catch yourself using positive self-talk without having to think about it. You'll start to automatically ask yourself empowering questions. This is momentum building. Momentum is a powerful force. Once you have it, everything becomes easier. The key is to protect your momentum. Don't let anything or anyone derail your progress. Don't let a bad day become a bad week. Don't let one moment of negative thinking undo all your progress. If you slip up, if you catch yourself using negative self-talk, don't beat yourself up about it. Just acknowledge it, redirect your thoughts, and keep going. The goal isn't perfection. It's progress. The goal isn't to never have a negative thought. It's to catch negative thoughts quickly and replace them with positive ones. One thing that'll help you maintain momentum is to track your progress. Keep a simple journal where you write down 3 positive things you said to yourself each day. Write down 1 challenge you faced and how you talked yourself through it. Write down 1 thing you're grateful for. This will help you see your progress and stay motivated. Another thing that will help is to share your journey with someone you trust. Tell them what you're doing and why. Ask them to check in with you and hold you accountable. Having support makes the process easier and more likely to succeed. Remember, you're not just changing your self-talk, you're changing your identity. You're going from being someone who tears themselves down to someone who builds themselves up. You're going from being your own worst enemy to being your own best friend. This is a profound transformation, and it's worth every bit of effort you put into it. By day 7 or 8, you'll start to notice that other people are responding to you differently. They'll sense your increased confidence. They'll notice your positive energy. They'll be attracted to your optimism. This is because you're literally becoming a different person through your new self-talk. The final form of resistance you might face is the fear of success. This might sound strange, but many people are actually afraid of succeeding. They're afraid of the responsibility that comes with success. They're afraid of how their life will change. They're afraid of outgrowing their current relationship. If you feel this fear, acknowledge it. It's normal. But don't let it stop you from growing. Success isn't something to be afraid of. It's something to be embraced. You deserve to live your best life. You deserve to reach your potential. You deserve to be happy and fulfilled. The last 2 days of your 10-day transformation will feel almost effortless. The new way of thinking will feel natural. You'll wonder why you ever talk to yourself negatively. You'll be amazed at how much your life has changed in just 10 days. But remember, this is just the beginning. These 10 days are about creating a foundation for lifelong change. The real magic happens when you continue these practices beyond the initial 10 days. When you make positive self-talk a permanent part of your life. Now let me tell you what life looks like when you consistently talk to yourself like a winner. This isn't just about feeling better, although you will feel better. This is about creating a completely different experience of life. This is about becoming the person you were meant to be. When you wake up in the morning, instead of dreading the day ahead, you'll feel excited about the possibilities. You'll look forward to the challenges because you know there are opportunities to grow. You'll face each day with confidence because you know you can handle whatever comes your way. Your relationships will transform. When you stop being critical of yourself, you'll stop being as critical of others. When you start supporting yourself, you'll become more supportive of the people around you. When you start believing in yourself, you'll start believing in others. People will want to be around you because you'll radiate positive energy. Your work performance will improve dramatically. When you talk to yourself like a winner, you'll approach your work with confidence and enthusiasm. You'll see solutions where others see problems. You'll take on challenges that others avoid. You'll stand out from the crowd because you'll carry yourself differently. Your health will improve. Stress is one of the biggest causes of illness, and negative self-talk is one of the biggest causes of stress. When you eliminate negative self-talk, you'll eliminate a major source of stress from your life. You'll sleep better, eat better, and have more energy. Your creativity will flourish. Negative self-talk is creativity's biggest enemy. When you're constantly criticizing yourself, you shut down your creative impulses. When you start encouraging yourself, you'll start to see possibilities everywhere. You'll come up with ideas you never would have thought of before. Your financial situation will improve. This might surprise you, but there's a direct connection between self-talk and financial success. When you believe in yourself, you're more likely to take calculated risks. When you expect good things to happen, you're more likely to recognize and act on opportunities. When you talk to yourself like a winner, but here's what's most important. You'll start to like yourself. You'll start to enjoy your own company. You'll start to feel proud of who you are and what you're becoming. This is the foundation of all success and happiness. When you like yourself, everything else falls into place. The transformation doesn't stop after 10 days. It continues to compound. Every day you practice positive self-talk, you're strengthening the neural pathways that support success and happiness. Every day you choose to be your own best friend, you're creating a better life for yourself. Let me tell you about some specific changes you can expect. You'll start to set bigger goals because you'll believe you can achieve them. You'll start to take on challenges that used to intimidate you. You'll start to see setbacks as temporary inconveniences rather than permanent failures. You'll become more resilient when bad things happen, and they will happen because that's part of life. You'll bounce back faster. You'll learn from the experience and move on instead of dwelling on it. You'll maintain your optimism even in difficult times. You'll become more generous. When you stop being so hard on yourself, you'll have more emotional energy to give to others. When you start believing in your own worth, you'll be more willing to help others discover their worth. When you start talking to yourself with kindness, you'll start talking to others with kindness. You'll become more attractive to opportunities. Success attracts success. When you carry yourself like a winner, winners will want to work with you. When you radiate confidence, people will want to do business with you. When you expect good things to happen, they're more likely to happen. Your intuition will improve. When you're not constantly criticizing yourself, you'll be able to hear your inner wisdom more clearly. You'll make better decisions because you'll trust yourself more. You'll follow your instincts because you'll believe they're worth following. You'll become more present. Negative self-talk keeps you stuck in the past or worried about the future. Positive self-talk brings you into the present moment. You'll start to notice and appreciate the good things that are happening right now instead of always focusing on what's wrong. Here's how to make this transformation permanent. First, never go a day without positive self-talk. Make it as automatic as brushing your teeth. Build it into your morning routine, your evening routine, and your response to challenges throughout the day. Second, continue to catch and redirect negative thoughts. You'll get better at this over time. Eventually, you'll catch negative thoughts before they even fully form. You'll become skilled at immediately shifting your focus to something positive. Third, surround yourself with positive influences. Read books that inspire you. Listen to podcasts that motivate you. Spend time with people who encourage you. Limit your exposure to negative media and negative people. You're reprogramming your mind, and you want to support that process with positive input. Fourth, teach others what you've learned. When you teach something, you reinforce it in your own mind. Share your transformation with others. Help them understand the power of positive self-talk. Be an example of what's possible when someone chooses to be their own best friend. Fifth, never stop growing. Continue to learn new ways to improve your self-talk. Read books about psychology and neuroscience. Study successful people and how they think. Attend seminars and workshops. The more you understand about the mind, the better you'll become at programming yours for success. Remember, this isn't about pretending everything is perfect. This isn't about denial or delusion. This is about choosing to focus on what's possible instead of what's wrong. This is about choosing to be your own advocate instead of your own critic. This is about choosing to create the life you want instead of accepting the life you have. The 10-day transformation is just the beginning. The real magic happens when you make positive self-talk a way of life. When you consistently choose to encourage yourself instead of discourage yourself. When you consistently choose to believe in yourself instead of doubt yourself. When you consistently choose to be your own best friend. So here's my challenge to you. Starting tomorrow morning, commit to 10 days of positive self-talk. Use the methods I've given you. Be consistent. Be patient. Be kind to yourself and watch what happens. Watch how your life begins to change. Watch how you begin to change. You have the power to create the life you want. You have the power to become the person you were meant to be. You have the power to transform your experience of life by transforming the conversation you have with yourself. The only question is, are you going to use that power? The choice is yours. You can continue to be your own worst enemy, or you can become your own best friend. You can continue to program yourself for failure, or you can program yourself for success. You can continue to tear yourself down with your words, or you can build yourself up. I believe in you. I believe you have what it takes to make this transformation. I believe you can change your life by changing your self-talk. But more importantly, you need to believe in yourself. You need to start talking to yourself like someone who believes in their own potential. The next 10 days can be the most important 10 days of your life. They can be the beginning of a new chapter. They can be the start of the life you've always wanted. But only if you make the decision to change. Only if you commit to talking to yourself differently. Don't wait until you feel ready. You'll never feel completely ready. Don't wait until conditions are perfect. They'll never be perfect. Don't wait until you have more time. You'll never have more time than you have right now. Start today. Start this moment. Start with the very next thought you think about yourself. Your life is waiting for you to become the person you were meant to be. Your dreams are waiting for you to believe in yourself. Your future is waiting for you to start talking to yourself like the winner you are. The time is now. The moment is here. The choice is yours. But let me tell you something else that's important. This transformation isn't just about you. When you change the way you talk to yourself, you become an inspiration to everyone around you. Your children will notice your confidence. Your spouse will feel your positive energy. Your co-workers will be attracted to your optimism. Your friends will want to know what's different about you. You become a living example of what's possible when someone decides to be their own best friend instead of their own worst enemy. You become proof that people can change, that lives can transform, that dreams can come true. And in a world full of negativity and discouragement, that kind of example is desperately needed. Think about the ripple effect of your transformation. When you start believing in yourself, you'll start believing in others. When you start encouraging yourself, you'll start encouraging others. When you start seeing possibilities instead of problems, you'll help others see possibilities too. You'll become a force for good in the world simply by changing the conversation you have with yourself. Your success will give others permission to succeed. Your confidence will give others permission to be confident. Your positive self-talk will inspire others to change their own inner dialogue. You'll become a leader by example, showing people what's possible when they choose to support themselves instead of sabotage themselves. And here's something beautiful that will happen. As you continue to practice positive self-talk, you'll start to attract people who also believe in themselves. You'll start to build relationships with other positive, growth-minded individuals. You'll create a network of supporters who will encourage your continued growth and success. The negative people in your life, the ones who try to bring you down, will either be inspired by your transformation and change themselves, or they'll naturally fade away from your life. You won't have to cut them off. They'll simply become incompatible with the new you. Your positive energy will be too strong for their negativity to handle. Remember, every great achievement in history started with someone believing in themselves when no one else did. Every successful business started with an entrepreneur who talked themselves into taking action instead of talking themselves out of it. Every meaningful relationship started with someone who believed they were worthy of love. You have that same power within you right now. You have the ability to become anything you want to become, achieve anything you want to achieve, create anything you want to create. But it all starts with how you talk to yourself. It all starts with a decision to be your own biggest supporter instead of your own biggest critic. The world needs what you have to offer. The world needs your unique talents, your special gifts, your individual contribution. But the world will never see those things if you don't believe in them yourself. The world will never benefit from your potential if you keep talking yourself out of pursuing it. So make this commitment, not just to yourself, but to everyone whose life you could touch. Make this commitment to your family, who deserves to see you at your best. Make this commitment to your community, which needs positive leaders. Make this commitment to future generations who need examples of what's possible. Talk to yourself this way for 10 days and you will feel the shift. You will see the change. You will experience the transformation. And once you do, you'll never want to go back to the old way of thinking. You'll never want to be your own worst enemy again. You have everything you need inside you right now. You have the power to change your life. You have the ability to create the future you want. You have the strength to overcome any challenge. You just need to start believing it. You just need to start saying it. You just need to start living it. This is your moment. This is your opportunity. This is your chance to change everything by changing the conversation you have with yourself. Don't let it pass you by. Don't let fear stop you. Don't let doubt win. Choose to believe in yourself. Choose to support yourself. Choose to become your own best friend. So here we are at the end of our time together, but really this is just the beginning for you. Everything I've shared with you today comes down to one simple truth. You have the power to change your entire life by changing one thing. The conversation you have with yourself. Think about where you were when we started this conversation. Think about how you've been talking to yourself up until now. Think about the limitations you've accepted, the dreams you've postponed, the potential you've ignored. All because of the words you've been speaking to yourself in the privacy of your own mind. But now you know better. Now you understand that your self-talk isn't just idle chatter. It's programming. It's instruction. It's the blueprint your mind uses to create your reality. And if you don't like the reality you've been living, you can change it by changing that blueprint. The 10-day transformation I've outlined for you isn't just a nice idea. It's a proven system. It's a method that has worked for thousands of people who decided they were tired of being their own worst enemy. People who decided they wanted to become their own best friend. People who decided their potential was too valuable to waste on negative self-talk. You are one decision away from a completely different life. One decision away from confidence instead of doubt. One decision away from possibility thinking instead of limitation thinking. One decision away from success instead of struggle. That decision is to start talking to yourself like the winner you were born to be. I know what some of you are thinking. This sounds too simple. How can just changing my self-talk change my whole life? But that's exactly why it works. The most powerful changes in life are often the simplest ones. They're the ones that seem too easy, too obvious, too good to be true. But simple doesn't mean ineffective. Simple means doable. You don't need special equipment. You don't need to spend money. You don't need anyone's permission. You don't need perfect conditions. You just need to make a commitment to yourself. A commitment to treat yourself with the same kindness and encouragement you would give to someone you love. Your future is not determined by your past. Your success is not limited by your current circumstances. Your potential is not defined by other people's opinions. Your life is shaped by the conversation you have with yourself every single day, and starting today, that conversation can be different. 10 days from now, you can be a different person. Not because you've changed your circumstances, but because you've changed your programming. Not because the world has changed, but because you've changed how you see the world. Not because your problems have disappeared, but because you've changed how you talk to yourself about your problem. The choice is yours. The power is in your hands. The time is now. Stop waiting for someone else to believe in you. Start believing in yourself. Stop waiting for permission to succeed. Give yourself permission. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Talk to yourself this way for 10 days and change your life forever. Your future self is waiting. What are you going to say to yourself next?